studios of Canon 4 TV. Studios, it's my kitchen. It's my kitchen. That's what it is. No studios over here. Studio, Alfred's got a studio. I don't have a studio. Don't have a studio. But yes, it's going to be another full house over here. Yeah, bingo, full house.
Nice down to your first number.
So there you go. Alfie, cheeky chappy, how have you been these days, these last few weeks?
With me,
Alfie.
The Arsenal,
Alfie.
we've been winning, we've been performing, and yes, happy times as an Arsenal fan.
Good. Long may it continue. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Brother Isaac. There's a bit of a lag. Can you hear me, Isaac?
Here I am, the faithful Guna. That is what we say. So it's been a while. It is happy times. Yeah. It's happy times, and is we are enjoying. So let's enjoy while we are winning, because it is happy times. We've gone through a lot. We've suffered a lot. So cheers, mate. Let's enjoy this winning streak. I'm happy we are doing well. Actually, we are overachieving, but I'm happy with our overachievement.
Okay.
And let's enjoy it while it lasts.
Okay. Good. And John the Geezer, we're in the Dial Square top.
yeah, the Dial Square. They got a big game next week, Alex, which I think you're going to, and they're keeping grassroots football, on a level pegging. So if anyone can go over there and support them at Chertsey FC next Saturday. They're a great bunch of guys, and I think you get a free beer as well and free entry. So get down there next week, fellas. Chertsey FC. But yeah, Alex, lads, has there ever been a better time to be a Gooner? In my lifetime, I don't think so at the moment, lads. We're watching something special happen. I keep saying something special's been happening this season, and something's in the air tonight, Alex. Something's in the air, mate.
I didn't know John was 25.
Cheers to you, Tony, mate. How's it going, Tony?
John's drinking, but I think we all need to jump on that drink.
Get on it, Tone. Rum and clothes. That was my old man's favourite.
Anyway, yeah, so this is the latest segment of the Easy Talk. Friday means the Easy Talk, and again, it's a full house. Bingo! Over here on the channel. And guys, if you won't mind who's watching now, just click the like button. You do not have to subscribe, but clicking the like would mean so much to everyone here on this small community over here on Canon 4 TV. So let's get into the first news segment. And within the last few hours, I've heard this gentleman has signed a new contract. Gabby Martinelli signs a long-term contract. The 21-year-old now into his fourth season at Arsenal. I can't believe it. Four seasons at Arsenal. But it does say actually, there's still some more bits and pieces that they have to overcome. The contract is subject to the completion of a regulatory processes. But I wanted to go to Tony. Your thoughts about Martinelli finally signing the contract? Tony.
I think it's a great thing. Part of a sequence of young players that need to be re-signed. Obviously, making our assets become more difficult for other teams to poach, and making our team more valuable.
Yeah.
Because obviously, a player with his attributes, prize asset, and one which, when you look, at the squad, we may have, but he's certainly worth a huge fee. Should somebody come and look at the squad, it needs to be reflected that we have players nothing for from the Hale End project who are now worth multi-millions of
Brilliant. Well said. John, yeah, Marcelo finally signed his contract extension.
Yeah, it's amazing. 4 years, unbelievable. And Alex, where's that time gone? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's great to see him. And it was funny, weren't it? He just signed it on the desk. That was a classic. Like, it's just kind of like the Tony Adams, I'll sign anywhere. But it's great to see these boys are showing loyalty, because we've seen with that Omar Hutchinson's, these agents can like really push them in the wrong direction, can't they? You know, the game is money orientated, and it does go a bit to their head. So I think these ALM boys, I'm hoping, I think they are very loyal lads, and they will put pen to paper. They're just waiting sure that they get paid out the right price, you know. Yeah. Obviously, when people like Mudryk and all that were getting thrown around, it does throw their heads a bit, because they want some of that money as well, and rightly so, you know. That's fair enough. But yeah, it's lovely to see all the youth players coming through. You know, that's to me, that's what football's about. These are local. Well, Martinelli's not local, but the other boys are local lads. They've come through the system, and to me, that's the way football should go. Go and look at Chelsea, what they're doing. They're just throwing dollar after dollar at anyone, isn't it? And you know, to me, that's ruining football. That's anti-football. So it's hopefully the other boys will sort their contracts out before the end of the season or at the end of it. So
yeah,
I'm a bit more confident now, Alex, the way things are going.
Yeah, Alfie, and for you, Martinelli signing this contract extension until 2027.
No, it's great, because the guy came 18 from a second division team in Brazil. He was very, very well scouted, and I think he was for the future. We didn't expect him to make the impact that he did, and fully deserved. When he was asked about it, he was just saying, "Oh, just pass me the pen." So it was really good to hear, and yeah, he's definitely committed to the process and the plan, and he's just 22. I know these 4 years have gone fast, but that's exponential growth to his abilities as a player so much as well. So yeah, happy to have people like that. And as John was saying, it's not always about money. I think he has to be, rewarded properly, but it's good to see loyalty nowadays in football.
Yeah, actually, Alfred, before I go to Isaac on Martinelli, Marquinhos to Norwich. I mean, is that not a bit strange for us? I mean,
it is a bit weird, because he played good the couple of games that he did, but I think they are taking like a slower approach with him. Maybe they feel that he's not ready for the Premier League, and he needs to play, and he's not gonna be playing. He's not gonna be playing in front of Martinelli, and he's not being playing in front of Trossard now. So now he's down in the pecking order, so he has to go and play some games. I still like the guy. I think he will be good, but he's just too young for the moment. And experience is good, and I think he will do well in Norwich, and hopefully he will have some game time.
Okay, and brother Isaac, for you, good news, Martinelli contract extension signed.
I'm happy for this lad. He's been yearning, he's been asking for us to give him the pen so that he signs. As Alfie said, it is hard, very, very hard in these times to get loyalty in football, because people are looking at what they are going to earn in the next club, or what their wages are going to be. But I'm happy that these lads are dying to play for the badge. That is what matters. And when someone is dying to play for the badge, they give their all. Unlike when someone is just there for the money. Someone will be there for the money and be comfortable sitting on the bench as long as they are earning. But this is someone who wants to play day in, day out, and he wants to win. And they have nothing to lose. When you have a group of young players, they have nothing to lose. they have got to play their best. And even when you're having, let's say, a gang group of young members, it is the most dangerous group. When you have a gang group of people who are elderly, they will reason with you. But when you're having a gang group of teenagers, it is the most dangerous gang. So it is good that we're having this kind of players. It's good that we're building a team around them. And it is not just a team for one season. Several seasons to come, and that it will be competing on high levels unlike before. You can feel even the atmosphere around the Emirates. I have been a fan for a while now, but I haven't witnessed an atmosphere like this time. We went to Etihad and the Arsenal supporters were the loudest than the noisy neighbors, as they are called. They were the loudest. As I was watching, all I could hear is the Arsenal songs, and I was like, I wanted to ask the John the Gunner, has it been like this even at Highbury, or is it the first time that we're having this kind of atmosphere?
When I went last season, Isaac, I thought it was better than Highbury, and for me to say that is quite a lot to say. I thought the crowd and the way Arteta connected with them, and Arteta did get that crowd going, I thought was fantastic. And with that Louis Dunsford song, unfortunately, I can't get tickets for the games, but the ones I've been to, like the crowd has been fantastic. And listening to it on telly, Arsenal have got to be the best away crowd, probably the best home crowd I've heard this season, to be quite honest with you. It's fantastic, Isaac. Yeah.
Brilliant. So you know what? Let's go into basically the first topic of the evening, and it's the transfer that Arsenal did or Arsenal didn't do. Now there was a statement, actually when Arteta was asked particular questions in his press conference, and he's kind of defended sporting director Edu, and he said that I'm really happy with what we've done. For what you plan and what you can actually do in this industry. Normally, it doesn't happen, so you have to mold and adapt. We've done that, and the most important thing is the profile of the person or the players, and the quality we bring in makes us better. And I've no doubt that we have done just that. Now, I'm asking this question, guys, and it's probably going to go to John. Now, these are the players that are eventually got to sign. So starting from left to right, the usual suspects. Jacob Mkiwa, Leonardo Trossard, who for me is probably the pick of the buys. And the guy far right, age 31, Jorginho, who? What? Hey, what's going on, John? Come on, man. Come on.
Georgie boy. Well, I don't think Arteta got his main target right. I think he definitely wanted Mudryk. Whatever happened there, he worked back, politics, whatever. But I honestly never see that happening because it was too much madness going on with that one. Politics and money, whatnot. Twerking to come to Arsenal seems to be the norm now. That's getting totally ridiculous, isn't it? Let's all twerk for Arsenal. But, I'm happy with them signings, to be quite honest. I didn't think we'd buy anyone after them. So I don't know much about the Polish guy. 6'2", eyes are blue. Jacob's coming after you. But apparently he's in training. He's broke all the records they've ever had at our league. You know what I mean? I don't know what these records are. To me, just play the football. But yeah, he looks a decent fella. Trossard, he's proven, isn't he? He's no frills, no spills, gets the job done, and I think he'll flourish at Arsenal. He's ambitious. He's coming to Arsenal at a good time. I think he'll be great. Jorginho. Now, no one likes buying players off of Chelsea because we've got bad sort of business with Chelsea, haven't we? Everyone we've ever had from them has been like a Chelsea pensioner, just take the money and run. But I think Jorginho will be a bit different. I think he'd give us an edge. They're proven players. They're there to do a job. You could question, are they the ones Arteta really wanted? But these are shoring up the team. They're making sure we've got backup. Whether they're good enough to replace the guys they're meant to replace, that's another question. But they are there to do a job, and let's just hope they can do it, and it ain't a missed opportunity again. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't know about Mudryk. He's a mixed box of tricks. He could be anything, couldn't he? He was a bit unproven, but he's meant to be the bee's knees. Let's see what he does with Chelsea. But I think we've got in my heart, I think we've got enough to get over the line. If we're sensible, there's no reason we should fold now. Just keep winning, and we'll get over that line and be number one next season.
Yeah. Tony, I'm thinking when Isaac was talking about the group of players we have, they're for the future, they're going to be playing for Arsenal the next 5 to 7 years. Jorginho won't be at Arsenal in the next 5 to 7 years, will he?
No. So my summation of the it's I link at Chelsea. And unfortunately, my memory of Chelsea players coming to Arsenal in the past 2 years, it's been nothing but sour.
Yeah.
Exactly. Quite simply, when you look at what Chelsea have just done in the last 2 transfer windows, when players spent in excess of £600 million and have brought in a plethora of Mudryk and João Felix, and it's just the names are just some of the names are superb. Then to see what they're letting go of, it kind of goes, well, character of the player, or was it the quality? And if it, then I can't feel comfortable with getting George. I know Chelsea just released within the last few hours from their Champions League list. I mean, that just goes to show how cutthroat they are as a club. And my wish of the transfer window was simple. It was okay. So we are making the likes of John feel giddy. We are now currently 5 points ahead of a team who some thought were the best in Europe, and on hand. And nobody saw this. This unprecedented opportunity presented to us at the beginning. I felt that it was the time for the board to say, hang on a second, I think really amazing is in the offing here. If we could put this club in a position to do something even come the summer. Yeah, because let's with Apollo, if Arsenal win the Premier League or middle of May, whenever it is, come the summer transfer window, everybody wants. Yeah, everybody is looking at and saying, "Oh, this amazing system and this fantastic coach, be a piece of this. I want to be a piece of this." So with that in mind, my hope was that the board would give Arteta something in his roster which would go, there's your deal breaker. There's your piece that's going to give you the necessary push next level. Now, I'm not underestimating the mental fortitude of a player of Jorginho's, because let's not forget, he's a World Cup winner. He's a European Cup League winner. He's a winner. Yeah, so that whole thing there, as a footballer, Leandro Trossard is more because he offers more on the pitch. Yeah. However, we got a nice piece in Leandro. We got a decent piece in Jorginho, and what looks in Kyriel, although none of us actually know, nobody can put their hand on heart and say week in, week out, and I know exactly where he's going to play, because I've heard people say he can play centre midfield. Well, where exactly is his best position? No one actually knows. So him off. I'm like, okay, he's back up. Yeah, it's a bit like Callum Chambers. You know he could do a job at centre half. You know Phil, because he's shown it. So if this kid is that kind of all-rounder, Nelson Vivas, if you remember, way back, Nelson Vivas, our most utility midfield, right midfield, yeah, then I'm happy with that kind of player being in. You have an issue with the Kyriel buy, yeah, and it's this strengthened by subtraction, and I'll explain that. Arsenal have done is sent our third choice in Sambila Conga out on loan, knowing full well we've lost first backup CDM for the rest of the season. So you've taken 2 CDMs out of the equation and you've added one. So have we strengthened by subtraction? The thing I'm worried about is, and I have to cross my fingers and touch wood and touch everything, Arsenal can see the rest of February out with Eddie Nketiah at the helm. Yeah, and this is not a slight on the lad. I love him. I think he's having a fantastic. However, my fear is if he catches an injury, because we've left ourselves so that what you now have to do is fill in with somebody who is, you know, striker as their second job. I know Trossard has played striker for Brighton. I know talked about as a potential number 9, but actually like the idea of a guy who's just played striker all the time. And the whole backup, single backup player, we can't even go to the under 20 and say, oh yeah, that kid there, he's tearing up trees in the under 21, 23. Should need to. We can call him to be a backup striker on the bench. Because imagine if you put Trent and you've got Martinelli on the wing, who's on the bench?
Yeah.
You ain't got to short on his truth. You'd have nobody on the bench as a backup striker. Praying, please, God, allow us to get through to the point where we can actually say we've got somebody sat on the bench. Sure, you'll probably talk about, you know, whether that person should be Jesus or whether that person should be Nketiah. It should be Nketiah who continues playing if he keeps banging in goals at the rate he's going.
Yeah.
That's my summation.
Yeah. But I think it's Todd, I tend to agree with what you've just said there, actually. I tend to believe that we have weakened the squad by loan that Sambi. We need bodies in there, don't we? But Tone, a very quick question. So, listen, the deal has been done. We've got Jorginho, and like you said, he's won the Champions League, he's won the Europa League, he's won almost everything. His motivation, what's his motivation? I'm not sure what his motivation is to come. He's got experience, but which midfielder would you have liked Arsenal to have gone to buy rather than a Jorginho? And actually, like I said at the beginning, Mikel Arteta, in his own words, said that he's quite happy with what business they did in the transfer window. So he's happy, Tony.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, if you've actually said Rice in the summer, then what you should have done was gone, now. If he's your player for the summer, then go to West Ham and throw 120 million. Do it. Because that's what Chelsea just did with Enzo Fernandez, who nobody knew last season, looked fantastic in the world. Okay, he looked decent. I'll tell you what, we'll throw 60 million at it. We'll throw 70 million. I think it went now, it's 120 million or nothing. And they waited, and then at the end they just went, bugger it. We won him. We ain't going to wait for no one else to get involved. We're just throwing the money, waiting for a title.
Yeah. Point well made. Cheeky Chappy. Jorginho, who? Who?
I don't know who the guy is.
I don't know.
I rated him a lot when he was in Napoli. I thought he was fantastic. But I think he's at the end of his career now. So I mean, he's half Brazilian. We have to say that, and maybe that's where the connection started with Edu. Because he always tends to go for Brazilian players. I think we have missed on a couple of them. Like, I would have loved to have Guimaraes, for example, in January last year, but it didn't happen because we didn't bid for him. But Jorginho, it's a gamble again, and he's 31 already, and it was 12 million for a contract of 1 year, which is a lot. But with that being said, it's a backup. I mean, we have to see it as, let's take a look who's on the bench, and you would rather have Jorginho than Lokonga. That's the reality of things. I think this particular window was like a sensitive panic buy a little bit, because we didn't get the targets that we were thinking of. Jacob, I mean, he's for the future. I think they see him as a center back, and what they try to do is just to leave Ben White on the right, and that's it. Just have Tomiyasu and Ben White fight for that position. And I think they were trying to look cover maybe for Saliba or Gabriel if something happens. But I think in defense we are solid at the moment. We still have the question about Tierney, Tierney or Zinchenko. At the moment, Zinchenko is doing superb, so I don't see him. I don't think Tierney is gonna be happy about being on the bench, but it's good if he has some competition. If he wants to stay, that's great. The issue then becomes the CDM. That again we have El Neni Partey, but obviously with the injuries, it become a problem that we have to act on the spot. And I know that in previous seasons we will try to improvise a little bit and maybe throw Ben White in there and then see what happens. But it's good that they took actions and they just, okay, let's gonna get this guy from Chelsea. He's definitely not gonna play. And they bought everyone that was available, everyone that was linked with us. To be honest, we should start looking at really, really bad players and get linked with them just to and yeah, it's not great because we had good players like at the end of the careers. So it was more like like an emotional signing, really. But they are not going to add to the team. Trossard is different though. He's proven. I think I agree with what Tony was saying, but at the same time, I feel that if in Ketia something happens, I feel that Jesus is almost back. At least I think it's not gonna be longer than a month, but it can be a crucial month. But also we can throw Martinelli up front and Trossard on the left, or the opposite, Trossard up the front and Martinelli on the left. That's an option. Not ideally, but it's better than not to have anyone. And then we will have to throw, I don't know, Martinelli up front and maybe someone else trying to cover the left, and then we are missing a player. But I think yes, it's not ideal. I would have Mudrik. I think he's gonna be good. The issue is I don't think he's gonna be good enough at Chelsea, and they bought. I don't know how much did they spend, like 323 million, something like that. And they're still 10 of the league, and they're not going to improve in 6 months. And they, because when I see the transfer and stuff, I just go, oh, Americans just trying to buy everything. Yes. Uh, but don't get me wrong, we still have an American as owner, but he doesn't like that. Thank God. And
Alfie, very quickly,
yeah,
are you the situation with Samuel Lokonga? I mean, the last game he played didn't have the best of games, but didn't have the worst of games. Being loaned out, Crystal Palace. Are you happy that Arsenal loaned him out, or what are your thoughts about Samuel Lokonga?
I think he's not ready. I think he needs to be loaned out. I don't know about the timing. I would have waited until the summer just to have him there. But this was a big discussion. But I do think it was on him. The goal of Man City. I do think that it was his responsibility because he was covering no one. With that being said, I think the guy is fantastic and he's going to improve. I don't know how much he can improve, but it's good to have him. And I don't know. I think at the end of the day, we kind of wanted to be out of the FA Cup as well because we want to give them an extra competition and secure the Premier League. So I don't see that game as that bad. But we will see at the end of the day.
Brother Isaac, I saw you shaking your head about Samuel Lokonga.
We had a discussion with you about Sambi.
Yeah.
And you asked the question, was it his fault? And I said no.
Yes.
It wasn't his fault entirely. It is a team responsibility. If I have made a mistake, you've got to cover for me. That's all. And actually, the goal came because Saka did not cover his man. He was dragged off. But others analyze it before that pass that Alvarez had a shot because Sambi was off position. That is where the analysis starts, and that is where they put all the blame on Sambi. First of all, it was a good move for Sambi to Palace, because at this time and point, the fan base gave him slander, so he could actually I believe it has in a way affected him. So it was a good time to move and go to a team that does not have huge amount of pressure so that he can develop. And number two, he went to a team that is physical so that physically he can develop. Because you see, he is not like physically, he cannot compete physically with Partey. He's not that physical, but he needs to be physical sometimes.
But
he's a good move.
But is Thomas Partey really physical? Thomas Partey doesn't have the physicality. I think.
He is. He is physical. He is physical. He is physical. He is physical. I've seen him wiggle through tackles. It's more of, you see, for me, Partey thrives in that single man role because he played that in a team that was park the bus. That is why he thrives in as a single in that single man role. And Sambi needed to go to a team in championship. Probably you could have loaned him back to company because he had him and he knew how to use him. Or Palace is a good choice for him because he doesn't have that much pressure and the fan base is not going to give him much stick as the vibrant fan base we're having. It gives you stick whenever you have like a bad game that they'll give you the stick you really deserve. And going to Jorginho, is it a good signing for Arsenal? I have been watching and analyzing all the news coming from all angles, and I've come to realize it is a transfer that have split the Arsenal fan base into two, and also split the Chelsea fan base into two. Why? A half of the Chelsea fan base feel it was time to let him go. Half of the fan base feel it is an experienced player we have lost. Arsenal half feel he's like a David Luiz or a Willian. Arsenal is his retirement home. The other half feels it is an experience we have bought. The other time you asked if someone could rank our transfer window, and someone said 3 out of 10. I followed through the charts and I said I let everyone have their opinion. Surprisingly enough, the winners of this transfer window have been termed to be Chelsea, second Arsenal, third Nottingham Forest. Surprisingly enough, we are second.
Just by money spent, you mean?
Second from Chelsea in terms of winning this transfer window.
I think
Coming
Forest
to Jorginho,
30 players.
Jorginho is not a number 6 for me. Jorginho plays better in the number 8 position. That is Xhaka position. He is good at unlocking a low block. Do we have runners on the wings? Yes, we do have runners. The speed of Martinelli and Saka. If you have a team that is playing a low block, sorry.
Oh, there's a long delay. There's
Yes,
Isaac,
Forest have bought 30 players in total, so they are 3 short to buying 3 teams. You can imagine. So back to Jorginho. Jorginho is a specialist in one-touch football. When it comes to behind the wall,
oh, right. I think we've lost Isaac.
I think he's gone. But I didn't know that Chelsea actually had a fan base.
They're having Surrey.
Yeah, when he said we split the fan base in two, it's like one and one person and one person.
Well, you know, we did a poll actually in regards to marks out of 10 for this transfer window, and this is how it's ended. So I started the bidding at 9 out of 10, and we went right down to 6 out of 10. So 9% of the votes went to 9 out of 10 for the transfer window. 20% of the votes went for 8 out of 10 for the transfer window. 30% went for 7 out of 10 for the transfer window, and 38% voted for 6 out of 10 for this transfer window. Tony, or what's going on, John? 6 out of 10, 38%.
Well, it's
People not happy.
probably about right. As I said at the beginning, I don't think Arteta got his main target, did he? Do you know what I mean? And to me, that was bad business. If that's who he wanted, they should have just given him whatever he needed to get that player, because he earned the right to buy whoever he wanted. As Tony's saying, we should have, strengthened considerably more. Really, we've added players, and it's a mixed bag. We don't really know what's going to happen now to the end of the season. We're not 100% confident with these players, are we? Realistically, so. But we've got to trust Arteta, because what he's done before, he's proven us all wrong. So my trust is with the guy. But
I mean, I understand your trust in Arteta. I understand you, but you have actually got to go to a higher being, because is he could have devised the best football plan ever, but if you get a player, his plans go out the window. So it's strange, right? Because I kind of go 18 months, and I thought we had one of the best utility players in our talking about Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing that years ago we would have had Maitland-Niles and Guendouzi. Now Maitland-Niles is literally burying himself at the moment by the looks of things, but when Guendouzi is now going, and for one of a bum on a seat, I would love Arsenal.
But Tony, why don't we have them? Why don't we have a Guendouzi? Why do we not have Maitland-Niles?
Because they're toxic. No, to be honest, I mean it's funny, but if you can have a player that has quality, but we all know what was reported about Guendouzi, and it wasn't good for the team. So he improved a lot in Marseille, but he's no longer a player, so nothing to do. And we tried with Caicedo as well, that we didn't mention. We were willing to pay million for the guy. Brighton didn't want to sell, which is fair enough. The guy is young. The guy has a long contract. I don't know how I feel about players saying that they want to leave the team, because he's bad. Like, if he doesn't go, then it's gonna, fire back to him, and the fans are gonna be against him. At the same time, he had a point, but I think if players want to go, you should allow them, regardless of their value, or if they don't want to be there, you have to let them go.
I agree.
But we'll see.
So guys, very, very quickly before we go into the second segment, John, so if you were to vote on that poll there, what would you have voted for? 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 for the transfer window?
No, I'm going to go to 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, Alex. You know what I mean? Right. I don't think Arteta got his man, so,
Right. And for you, Isaac, what would you have voted for?
7 out of 10, because he got his alternatives. If I remind us, when Arteta has signed alternatives, they've turned out to be good business. He wanted Vlahovic, he got Jesus. He wanted Lisandro, he got Zinchenko. He wanted Mudryk, he got Trossard. He wanted Caicedo, and got Jorginho. I'm trusting my gaffer. I'm trusting my manager, because his alternatives have proved to be good because of the kind of football he plays.
But Isaac, we haven't won anything.
Yes, we haven't won anything, but people don't really think. Actually, I've had people say that we are where we are because the Premier League is having a poor season. No. It's not having a poor season. We are where we are because we are playing excellent than Man City, and Man City are looking average. We went toe to toe with Man City at Etihad, and it was down to finer margins. And that is where we lost. And we lost when he took Partey off. We haven't lost a game with Partey on. We haven't.
Good
Yeah.
shout.
We lost that game when he took Partey off. And believe me, when the noisy neighbors come to the Emirates, I am quite confident that game is winnable. The only game that I am afraid of is Newcastle away. Because Newcastle can park the bus.
We beat them,
That is
mate.
the
Don't
only
worry.
game. That is the only game that I know is a hard game for us. But Man
We beat them
City,
this time.
but Man City at the Emirates, it is a winnable game. It is a winnable game because I watched that game. We took it to them. It was a 50-50 game. They did not dominate us like they used to dominate. Remember, Man City could dominate us with a 70-80 ball possession. But this time it was 56-44. They did not dominate us.
I don't think Man City got out of second gear against us. But anyway, Tony, you want to say something very quickly?
Yeah, I just want to say this whole narrative of, I don't think any team can be. That's probably true if you play your starting 11 every game. Yeah? And each of those 11 players is at his ultimate fit. Your problem, my friend, is that now we don't play once a week. The last once a week. Yeah? We're now going to be playing. Who's getting a call when we're playing quarters of the Europa League?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's getting called
Good point.
when we're playing mid behind? Because remember, we are a game behind. Sometimes we're 2 games behind. Yeah. So it's all very well saying, I believe this team can. No doubt this team can beat everyone. However, my doubt is 11 starters will play in every game and be fit, continue for 4.5 months.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, Tony. Definitely.
Yeah,
See,
definitely. But that's the reason that no team, sorry to interrupt you, like no team, no Man City, no Arsenal took that FA game seriously. I don't think that game really showed what we can do and what they can do.
Yeah. And as Alex has said, he really put their foot to the pedal in that game because they kind of knew we'd win it if we don't. It's not much of a game. And the difference with City, numbers in depth to be able to say, well, you know what? We can confront if we need to, but we actually don't need the FA Cup. When they're playing in their next Champions League game, he's going to be playing his best 11. And I have this talk with Apollo again, often. People sometimes don't much rotation Pep Guardiola does. Really tell the difference between his first 11 and his second 11. Grealish and I bring in Foden. Most people think Foden's the better player. Yeah? Or if I take out Bernardo Silva and I put in Mahrez, most people play. That's not the case with Arsenal. When you take out a player, not match up.
Yeah,
agreed, mate.
Yeah, but that takes time and money. I mean, Man City can send Joao Cancelo to Bayern. We cannot afford to lose their second. That is it was Zinchenko. So yeah, we cannot do that.
I'll tell you one thing, lads, though. Rob Holding had Haaland in his pocket, mate, that first half.
No. It was a mismatch. It was a mismatch. Haaland and Holding. Nah. Haaland was giving Holding a.
They said go and annoy him as much as possible, so he would. And Holding is just like that, so it was perfect.
Do you know what, guys? Let's go into the live chat before we go to the second and last topic. So we've got our moderator, which is Hey Up Gooners. Welcome to Canvoy TV and Friday night show with the Crazy Gang. DWT's in the house. He says hello. There's an echo. Lisa Oliveira says hello. And Arsenal Alex, not me, but it's never Arsenal Alex. It says evening all. He says, quite rightly, please like, subscribe, and donate to the channel by clicking the super chat, but you don't have to if you can't afford it. There are more important things in life than giving us a super chat. We've got the First Lady of Cannon Foy TV, which says, good evening, Cannon Foy TV crew. Good January transfer window, and we move. And yes, John Trossard will bring quality. Static, good evening, brother, says, hey, Alex and the panel, to the Gunner family. Motivation pension fund. Jorginho, who? Actually, I think he will do a good job when called. I'm not convinced. Kadeem, good evening. Says Sambi will come back stronger, hopefully. He is just a bit timid for now. I would have kept him at Arsenal, but the guy needs minutes, doesn't he? He needs to be playing minutes. And I think of all places to go Crystal Palace where he'll be tutored by, the original Vieira, Patrick Vieira, not Fabio Vieira. Fabio who? Anyway.
Can I?
Kadeem, yeah, go on, Tony. Yeah.
Just a quick one on loans, by the way. One that's baffled me when it comes to loans is Marquinhos to Norwich.
That's what we said. We said. Yeah.
I tell you why it baffles me. We're again bodies. We need bodies who are right on the cusp, ready to come in at a minute's notice and say, pull something on the pitch in a warm-up. Get somebody onto the bench. Marquinhos was that guy. My question is, he's getting good experience by going to Norwich. But again, that means that somebody else now, lesser, could possibly get that call if the numbers are short on the bench. Because remember, in the line, close to Dewberry, we've seen Matt Smith.
Yeah.
We've seen who've come in to fill the bench because we haven't got the numbers. Yeah? It's like, okay, Marquinhos really, what we should have been doing is just saying under 23s. If you don't play Saturday, you're playing under 23s. Because the under exactly the same as the first team.
But I had this conversation with one of the panelists actually, and I said, well, why did we buy Marquinhos? Just to loan him out? Just go into the under 23s and play, have a right back there. But Tony, probably you didn't hear, Alfie was saying that Marquinhos is just not ready for the Premier League.
He's too young and he won't play. He's third on the pecking order. Like if you play Martinelli, if Martinelli is not playing, then you play Trossard. But you're not gonna play Marquinhos. It just won't happen.
The question is though, if let's just say, I don't want to be the bearer of doom, but let's just say,
Go on.
yeah, Saka gets injured. Who's his natural backup? Let me up Reece Nelson.
That's the thing. That's a position that we have to fill.
Right.
But
so
There's no backup.
If Reece Nelson has to come in for Bukayo Saka as the first team player because Saka is out for a couple of weeks, who's on the?
Yeah, that's unfortunate because Nelson is injured as well. But I mean, we've seen it. Nelson has come in and he has played well. Obviously Saka is a fantastic, talent, and we cannot compare. But I think we do need an extra person for that particular position, especially because Nelson is injured as well.
But then Alfie begs the question: then why did we loan him out? If we're short on numbers, why loan him out? And there's no backup. There's no natural
because
backup for
because
Saka.
players get frustrated of being third options, and at that age when he's 18 he needs to play every day, like every game. So
The point is,
it's
if
better for him
it,
for experience. It's better for everyone. He's not going to develop
I
playing
tell you
one
what, I
every
tell you
3
what
months.
I'd rather be doing. I'd rather be playing third string in a title-winning run, knowing I'm playing in the first team training, fighting. Iron sharpens iron. Don't forget this. Playing, and he's surrounded by Saka, Martinelli, Xhaka, Partey. All these guys are going to sharpen his tool. Norwich. Nobody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Here's the
Playing
thing. I
good
don't think like
not
he's
get
in the
it
core of the
twisted.
team, and that's the issue. He's just not part of that main team in the same way that Balogun is not, but he's scoring goals in France like crazy.
But
Uh,
even for bodies, not even for numerical reasons, having a
because
body there in
the thing is,
case.
it would be selfish though. The guy, like,
Have
no one is happy
32
to play
players,
under the
bro.
23s. No,
No one should have been allowed to leave, in my opinion. They should have kept them all.
No one.
It's crazy to let them
Agree
go.
with you, John.
It's crazy. Like you say, they're going for the most prestigious title in the world, and they're allowed to go out on loan. I don't get
Crazy.
that myself. I don't
It
get that.
makes no sense. How you losing 2 CDMs? It makes no sense. So that means
I don't
if
get
you
it.
lose 1 CDM, you actually have 1 CDM.
The thing is, right, if Party gets injured, Odegaard gets injured, there's no cover. There's no like natural cover for them. I noticed in that Man City game, the creativity went out of it. Do you know what I mean? There was no. I don't know if they was trying hard or what, but there was no creativity. And the players we've got brought in, they can't really cover the ones we've got. Trossard, maybe, yeah. I don't think no one's going to cover like one for one, like look what Man City do with the rotation, what Tony says. That's my main concern, where we might come a cropper if we ain't really on it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
but he won't change that because the quality of the player is not as good. So if you want a one by one replacement, Marquinhos is not that guy.
Why'd you buy him?
No, but you should still
Exactly.
keep
Why did you buy him? Why did we buy him?
Why did we buy Martinelli?
ESR is. I just see Ashley saying ESR's injured now, so that's another
Yeah.
worry, isn't it? We
Yeah.
ain't got him as backup again. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're thinking in worst case scenario. But if it's like the opposite, if we have everyone back, if we had El Neni and then we had Partey and we had Shaka, Sambi Lokonga would never play.
Doesn't matter. We still need to have bums on. Yeah.
No,
Let me-
because
let me
I
give-
refer to
let me
my previous
you- let-
answer. If they are not happy, they have to go, even if
There's
it's
a
on
saying.
loan.
I'm a boxer, yeah. I'm a boxer by trade. There is my trees are plenty, yeah. And what I'll tell you is for nothing. Iron sharpens iron. Training in the gym. If I'm training with a world champion, I have to world champion. If I'm training with a ranked amateur, my level is a rank. So by sending out Lokonga to Crystal Palace minutes, yeah. If you send Marquinhos to Norwich, I get it, but the guys that are world class, who need players around them to continue being world class, are actually all Arsenal.
Yeah.
Hey, there are minutes.
And
I've
do you
been,
know what? Sorry, lads. I think that Sammy Lagonga, I don't know why he's getting so much grief personally. Do you know what I mean? He's got to be given time. Fans and that getting on his back is not helping the bloke. And I think even Arteta got on his back in that first documentary. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe there's sort of a bit of a man management issue with him. I ain't too sure. But I definitely wouldn't have let players go, in my opinion. You add to it. You don't get rid of them.
Yeah. Isaac, you want to say something before we go back into a live chat?
yeah, I was saying, how many of us watched the documentary and heard Lokonga complain of not getting enough game time? Arteta at Man City was tasked with modeling young players, and probably is the most qualified than all of us to understand when a player needs to move to a team that has no much pressure and to get more minutes into his legs so that when he comes back, he's got the experience and he's got the stamina so that he can model him. Sambi was frustrated in the first place that he is not playing.
But
Even got more frustrated.
Yes. I know the segment you're talking about, and he was actually, it was Eddie Nketiah who responded to him by saying, you know, everyone is in the same situation. And you got to remember as well, Arsenal now have, like, they've got like a mentor who can coach them and speak to them about, you know, all the things about their well-being. So for me, rather than loaning him out, why not use Carlos Cuesta, who could speak to a Samuel Lokonga and say, look, we're all in the same boat. Everyone has to fight for the position there. But for me, it's like trying to get rid of the problem. Deal with the problem. Speak to the youngster. You know, and then Nketiah say, you know what, we're all in the same position. You just need to stay here and fight for your position. Sorry, Isaac. Go on.
With me,
true.
because
Sorry, I stop you. But the thing is, if you think about the moment, it's like Lokonga is not better in that position that throw Holding in or Ben White to cover them, and that's the issue. It's like I don't think he's the first option, and if he's not the first option, he needs to improve. And if he's complaining, he has to go and play under Vieira. If you're good under Vieira, then you can come back and fight. But it's just selfish to have also the guy just there waiting for an opportunity that is not gonna come, because we would not play Lokonga in a final of an Europa League. We won't.
But look, here's a dichotomy, Alfie. All right. So Partey gets injured. Who comes into playing this position? It's Samuel Lokonga.
Or
right, so Partey
Ben
gets.
White.
Did you say Holding?
Yes, they will
wow,
throw Holding.
let me finish.
He won't play. Like, that game didn't matter. That game is not a game for us to win against Man City in
Did
the
you
FA Cup.
seriously say Holding?
They won't throw Sambi Lokonga. They won't.
But we seriously just say.
I don't think you'll see any of them three players come back to Arsenal that left on loan. I'll be surprised if any of them come back.
No, Alex, come to my rescue. Let me finish mine.
Because they realize that they just not good enough, and it's sad that Lokonga won't come back.
People are getting on Lokonga, and the kids made a mistake. But let's be honest, they haven't made mistakes in their upcoming at Arsenal. I can tell you 1,000 players that terrible mistakes in a game. Yeah, including likes of Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp. I've all made a mistake. Fine you. The kid's not a bad player.
He's not good enough.
He's not at Todd's Party level. Yeah, but he's not
and
a
that's
bad
the problem.
player.
They're all good players. I just don't see them coming back now, personally.
Yeah, I 100% agree because he's just not good enough to play for the Arsenal team. That's sad. But for example, Dinos Mavropanos, which is really, really good and is playing good in Germany, wasn't good for us. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And sometimes players have to move on and we have to move on. And Sambi's still young, he can turn it around. But Guendouzi is a good player, but he's just not good for us. That's
I
it.
don't think it's their ability. I just think now they've been loaned out. I just don't think they will come back. Or in his stay at Palace. I reckon Pat will have him. But that's my opinion. What do I know?
Isaac, you want to finish off your point? Sorry, brother.
It's like I'm generating a lot of hate when I talk. So
No. Opinion.
so I was saying, remember we were pushing for a Caicedo.
Yeah.
And that really gets into a player's mind. When you are pushing for a Caicedo, he's made a mistake. He knows he's not second choice, he's third choice, and you are pushing for a Caicedo. He understands that if it goes further down, there's even more frustration. And we also, when others were hugging around and shaking hands, he walked down the tunnel because it got into him. And I understand him being sent on loan. It was not like, oh boy, you're going out on loan. They had to speak to him and let him understand he needs game time. He demands that game time. Yes, he is demanding for that game time. But he needs to understand that he's got to understand situations better. He's got to read the game better than he does. So he's not a party, as Alfie said. Yes, he isn't, and he cannot be he's not a party at the moment. And it has been a great problem at the Arsenal building the squad or building a good system around where they played. Ateta is getting it hard to form a super midfield because he's a midfielder. And I don't know who else struggled to form a defense when he was a defender. And there's someone else who struggled to make a lightning or a quick attack because he was an attacker. It has been like, if a manager is a midfielder, he has had problems trying to have a good midfield. He makes a good defense and a good attacking. But when it comes to the area where he played or where he was a good player, it is somehow is something boggy comes up. But let's understand that these players, they are young. If their careers at 19, 20 years are destroying a human being, you need to give them time. Don't be selfish. Let them go out on loan, get game time because they also want to build their careers. If you hold to a Marquinhos because you don't have bodies in that area, but you look at Arteta, he's buying players who can play in multiple positions. If he goes for a Trossard, he wanted a Mudryk. He didn't get a Mudryk. He went for a Trossard who plays in 3 positions. He plays in the wing, he plays a number 10, and he plays as a false 9. Those are 3 positions he's covering. He went for Kivior. Kivior is a natural backup for Magalhaes. We didn't have a natural backup for Magalhaes, but we now have a natural backup in this guy. Remember, we didn't see much of Tomiyasu before he brought Tomiyasu in, but we are now smiling that we have Tomiyasu. He's brought Kivior, whom we have not seen. We have just seen clips on YouTube on him defending against Ibrahimovic, defending against Messi. Those are the clips we have seen. And then he went for Jorginho. Jorginho plays in 2 positions. He plays in the Partey position and he plays in the Xhaka position. But he plays best in the Xhaka position. If you put him in the number 6 role, he is not as quick and he gets dribbled past easily. But he is good at one pass. That one behind the wall. And we have runners who can do that. So let's trust in the Yes, yes, Alex, something you want to say?
Sorry. Question to Alfie and brother Isaac. So, are you saying the main issue is that these players need experience and these players need play time? Is that the main issue you're saying? Because I'm saying, well, rather than loaning them out, put them in the under 23s. They will still be with Arsenal. They'll still be plying their trade with Arsenal, and we can still call upon them when we need them. It's about numbers. We don't have the numbers in the squads. We are at the top of the league. We're about to kick off the Europa League games again now. We need bodies. We need players with experience, but rather than loaning out a Marquinhos, loaning out a Sambi, play them in the under 23 so they can ply their trade. I'm with John on this one. We should not have loaned out any player in this transfer window. None of the players should have been allowed to leave. We're short on numbers. And again, if it's about playtime, put them in the under 23s. Put them in the under 23s. They're still out there.
A question for you, Alex. Do you think the under 23s is as competitive as the championship?
Well, I mean, the question is obviously it's not as competitive, and that's why I'm
True.
that's why I'm asking.
It's a very good point, and my point on numbers is Chelsea have 32 players. Do you think that they have the quality?
So where them 30 players?
And they are struggling.
It's not about numbers either.
At the moment, they have dropped
between numbers and quality.
They have dropped. Sure. At the moment, Chelsea have dropped Auba from the Champions League squad, and he could be a problem to that dressing room.
Let's hope they keep dropping. The further, the better.
I'm done.
I think he dropped himself.
Tony, it's a comment here for you. It comes from Andreas, who says, Tony, my brother, you're bugging out, man. I can't understand you, but it looks like you're making very compelling arguments.
So what my man just came up with was an oxymoron. So I'm bugging compelling argument. That's an oxymoron, my friend. Yeah? You said I'm doing the right thing, but I'm bugging out. It's an oxymoron, my friend.
You know what? Let's go into the second and last segment. That's more business to be done. Premier League action tomorrow. My goodness. We're playing against the Toffees, Everton. Sean Dyche, a new manager. Yeah, what's he gonna do? Sean Dyche? Listen,
the man who knows how to park the bus.
Yeah, well, listen, the last five games against the Toffees have yielded, you can see it there. The stats are right there. They've beaten us 3 times and they've lost twice. Alfie, what's going to go on tomorrow, man?
We're winning 3-0.
Sean Dyche. 3-0.
Yeah. Comfortable. Good football.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to hold you to that, man. John, what's going to happen tomorrow against Sean Dyche?
Well, he's only ever beaten us once, and good luck with parking the bus because we're going to hammer him about 5-0 easy.
Good Tony. Tony. Parking the bus, Sean Dyche. Tony, your thoughts, man? Everton.
Yeah, I'm with John, mate. We smashed the bejesus out of there. I've got a thing against Everton, and I can't explain why, but it's it is as tribal as it gets. 5-0, please. 5-0, please.
All right. And last, Isaac.
Neil and Alex, you know the player I've been telling Arteta to sign. So probably tomorrow you're going to watch that game. Look at the guy. We'll beat them, but I know the guy will perform.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, I think there's been a couple more comments in live chat before we wrap up this one. Ashley D says, Tony makes me laugh. He's ranting so much, his mic cannot keep up with him. Tony never rants. Leave that to me. I do the ranting and raving over here. What else have we got here? He goes on to say, Alex's 2 bottles of wine have become 3. It's been a tough week, man. It's been a tough week. I want Everton to go down. They have wasted too much time in the Premier League, achieving nothing. About time they gave another club a chance. John, any more comments before we wrap up this? Anything you want to say?
Well, tomorrow's game, right, it's going to be tough. That Dyke, he's a dirty so-and-so, and Everton are dirty. So I'm hoping we don't get injured, because this is my fear tomorrow. We will beat them, but we need to come out of that game injury-free, because he's going to throw every trick at the book at us. You know, he's got to make a name for himself. But I still reckon we come out about 5-0. It's still the best time you're ever going to be a Gooner at the moment. We should fear no one going forward. And hopefully in May, we'll all celebrate with a bottle of champers round your house, Alex, all right?
No, around Tony's house.
Or Tony's, or mine, wherever.
And John, very, very quickly, John is wearing the Dial Square FC top. John, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, if you can get over and see him, anyone that's watching, go and watch him at Chertsey FC.
Brilliant, brilliant. Alfie, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely we should win that game. But when there is a new manager, it's always tricky because all of the players want to show that they want to be in the first 11, obviously, and they want to switch things around. So we have to be careful as well. But it should go well for us.
Brilliant, brilliant. Brother Isaac, final thoughts?
As Alfie said, there's always the bounce of a new manager. And remember, this is the team that held City to a 1-1. It's not an easy team. That's what I'm saying. Yes, we will win 3-0. I'm not going for a 5 or a 6 thrashing. So I'm going for a 3-0 because we can comfortably beat them. And it's like this season, we are on a revenge mission. If you did mess with us last season, we are going to come for you.
Nice one, nice one. And last but not least, Brother Tony, man, final thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that we are now approaching the 3rd day of February. Let's not lose sight of that. Yeah, we kind of all kind of focused on the fact that we got to Christmas and we were at the top. Then we got to the end of January. We're now in the month of February. The countdown is on. 4 months, boys. 4 months.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Ride while we've got it. Yeah. Let's enjoy. Let's make the most of this. Let's every bit of support. I've been to the Emirates this year. Yeah. The atmosphere at the Emirates. Yeah. John, you made a point earlier that it's never been this good in the Premier League era. Sorry, tell a lie. It's never been this good. No, at Highbury, I've had better years.
Yeah.
I know I have. Brilliant years. And maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe it's because I've been there to the promised unbeaten season. I know what it feels like to be in amongst the Arsenal for the best of times. This feels good. Not as good as some of the years I've had in the past. And anybody who's going to Arsenal, supporting their team from another country today or whenever Arsenal play, enjoy this, boys.
Yeah. Because
this is one. We are loving it. Thank you, Arteta, for that.
It might, Tony, we're in a position, right? This might not come again for another 10 years. Seriously, that's where your point about Arteta not getting backed up, I totally agree with. Because after this season ends, right, we we don't know. Arsenal got a long way to go, and I ain't taking it for granted. I'm just enjoying every game, right? Because you're only as good as your last game, and Man City ain't no mugs. They're going to be turning it on second half of the season. But we're in a unbelievable position. No one knew we was going to be here. I didn't. I thought get top 4, that'd be a result. But at the end of the season, again, if we do blow this opportunity, you're going to get Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle, City. They're all going to get major investing.
Yes.
We might fall way behind that pack. I think it's a once in a generation chance to win this Premier League, and they should go all out for it. Do you know what I mean?
All out.
It's gonna go to the wire. It's gonna be touch and go, but enjoy it. And what I mean, Tone, I haven't seen the atmosphere so good since I've been Highbury. I've been the Emirates a lot since the 20 years it opened. It is the best atmosphere it is at the Emirates it's ever been, I think. The fans have just got in touch. The old sort of atmosphere has been reunited again. It all went a bit flat, didn't it? We had a bad run of things. And now it's opened up again. It's opened up. And I hope it continues for these younger fans that have never seen the success. And I hope Arteta knows what he's doing. I think he does. And we will, with 5 points in front, a game in hand, if we slip up again, well, there's got to be a lot of questions asked. You know what I mean? It's in Arsenal's hands. That's the main thing. It's in their hands. It's there to lose,
John, very quickly before we wrap up the show. So if we don't win the Premier League, would that be a massive disappointment, even though we do qualify for Champions League for you?
For me, it would do. I don't know what other fans think, but I think, if we throw it away now, and I ain't saying it's easy, we have got an advantage, but I can't see why we would capitulate in the second half of the season all of a sudden when we've done so well in the first half. We beat Man City is the key. That is the key. We ain't played them yet. We've got 2 games to play them. But don't forget, lads, Rob Holding had Ireland in his pocket, and that's a lot to build on.
Alex, let me give you an analogy to the question you just asked. I like giving analogies. Why if we don't win the league? For instance, I have approached a lady and I'd like to quote her. Remember, in the first place, she has no feelings for me. But I approach her because I like her and I tell her, hey, miss, I like you. And I want us to take this a step further. And perhaps 2, 3, or 4 weeks, she says no. And after the 4th week, she says, yes, we can give it a try. And then she starts liking me back. And then she falls in love with me. If I break her heart, what happens? She is disappointed. That is why, in this position where we are, if we don't win the league, we'll feel.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a major disaster, would it? Because nobody on this panel now thought we would have been top of the league.
No,
nobody. If you asked everybody during the start of the season, we were top four, and we're in top 4, number 4 there, not even third. But right now we are on top of the league and we are feeling like we are entitled to it.
Yeah.
That is the good thing about football. It's all about feelings and emotions. They take you where you don't want.
Yeah, well said. Alfie, very quickly. Can we win the league, Alfie?
Yes, we can. And I would just with John, I don't think the Man City game is the crucial game. I think if we maintain our, consistency and we don't lose 2 games in a row, we can still make it, even though we don't get the best results. But hopefully we will win those games or at least tie them.
Brilliant. Well, you know what? We've come to an end on this extended version long play,
Yeah,
the
sorry.
LP version of Easy Talk. Remember the LPs, long LPs, the albums? God, yeah, I'm showing my age now, man. Anyhow, Tony's going to show us an LP. The long play.
18-inch versions, weren't they?
33 and a quarter. But anyway, guys, thank you so very much for giving us your time. Brother Isaac, again, you know you're always welcome back on Canon 40 TV. Brilliant. Tony, listen, I should have given a shout to all my colleagues who happen to be teachers who went on strike for a worthy cause. Workers' rights, yeah, if you're watching and you're a teacher,
Get behind you.
Fantastic. How's your week been, Tony?
Been emotional, but yeah, we got through it. We're there.
Yeah. Well done. And John the Geezer.
Thanks for having us on, lads. It's a pleasure talking to you guys. You know what I mean? We're all gooners. We all want Arsenal to win, whatever our opinions are. It would be boring if we had the same old opinions. And I think Arsenal should fear no one.
Yeah, well said.
Let's go win it.
Yeah, and last one on this, Cheeky Chappy. Where are you back in Colombia?
No, I'm still in Belgium.
You're still in Belgium?
Yeah. So I'm going maybe in May to the UK and maybe to watch an Arsenal game. Hopefully Brighton. That's what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
But no. Maybe if we get Saint-Gilloise in the Europa League, maybe we can watch that game as well. But we will see. But yeah, no, everything is good. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you. You're welcome. Well, guys, that is it. What's happening in the next couple of days? The big Sunday show hosted by Paul Bray. Look out for that. I think maybe a 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. kickoff. I won't be doing any live shows tomorrow. I'm going to be enjoying the weekend with my lovely wife, and that's it. And also enjoy a little cup of red wine. Yeah. It's been a long old tough week over here. God, dearie me. Anyhow, guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the remnants of your week or your day, and wherever you are. And just remember that you have been listening to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Come on, you gunners. Come on.